Thank you for coming back to another episode of IndieTV. For the past couple of years, I found that the majority of the games that I've been playing that I've enjoyed so much have been indie games. And yes, I've always liked space games in the past, but I wasn't really into space games so much. I loved Star Fox back in the day, Battlefront, games like that. But it wasn't until a very awesome indie developer, Hello Games, came along with a game called No Man's Sky that got me back into really wanting to play space games. And that right there has sparked a big movement, in my opinion, in space games and in the indie scene. Now, whether it was Hello Games that did it or whether it was just pure coincidence, the fact remains that this last couple of years has been a big indie boom coming from, the gaming scene, and that I really do enjoy. I find myself constantly looking for that next game that I think is going to be something that I enjoy, and it always leads me to an indie developer rather than a AAA title. I'm not knocking AAA. AAA it's needed, but when it comes to indie developers, thinking outside of the box and not afraid to take chances, that's where it's at for me. With that said, I would like to introduce a game that some of you probably know called Planet Nomads. And I was able to sit down and have a conversation with one of the developers on Planet Nomads to tell me just a little bit more about the game. So if you like No Man's Sky and games like that, you're going to want to check this out. Today on IndieTV, we have Daniel from Crane Ball Studios, who are developing the game, the most awesome game that I've seen in a long time since No Man's Sky, called Planet Nomads. Daniel, then welcome to the show.
Oh, hey, Cobra. Yeah, thanks for having me. It is indeed.
It's a pleasure, dude. Pleasure's all mine, trust me. What is the history of Crane Ball Studios? What have you guys worked for in the past before we get into talking about Planet Nomads?
So we started in 2008/2009.
Okay.
And we were making mobile games because, originally we were just gamers and not developers. And so we started with smaller games and worked ourselves to Planet Nomads. So at first it was, basically we are most known for a gallery shooter called Overkill.
Okay.
It was in 2011 and it hit #1 in the US up charts. And then we had Overkill 2, which was already more 3D. We had 3D models and 3D guns. We are totally keen on gun upgrading. And so each Overkill has 30 guns, 50 guns, and you can upgrade each part of them. And with the latest instance, with Overkill 3, it was already a full-fledged 3D third-person shooter. Mm-hmm. And during that time, 2 years ago, we also got 2 industry veterans on board who was working on Bohemia Interactive and Y2K Czech, and they were making PC games. So they had some experience with animations, and we created our motion capture studio and did the animations for Overkill 3. And we also learned to work with the Unity engine. And so basically we grew from this simple gallery shooter to doing everything, doing 3D modeling, doing animations, like I said. And so basically we now have everything, all the knowledge we need to make a PC game, our first one, and that was Planet Nomads.
Wow, and you guys really went for it too, because what I've seen from Planet Nomads is pretty extensive as far as going from what you say might be a simple gaming development to just this amazing complicated game.
Yeah, that's true. But since that's why we wanted to make a sandbox game, because like you just bring the tools together and you don't have to like. Of course, you have to design every feature and all the things, but players can help with that, and we've been working with some experienced sandbox games players and hearing them out and working with them on the game. So, but basically, it's still make models. Like the biggest challenge right now is the procedural generation of the world. Like that's something completely new.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to gain inspiration whenever we can, like from the technical point of view. We've been in touch with a few procedural generated engine makers and experimenting with OpenCL and that kind of things.
So have you actually reached out to Hello Games and talked to them?
Not to those one, but we are in touch with Marek Rosa from
Space Engineers.
Space Engineers.
Yeah, that's one big inspiration that I see when I look at your game.
It is. That's true. Like it was the one, especially the building part of Space Engineers is the greatest inspiration. Yeah. So
Space Engineers has been one of my favorite games for I guess over a year now. I think I got it when early access came out, and I just absolutely love it. And that's what really brought me into Planet Nomads, is having that Space Engineers experience. So I think I'm going to really love this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vertical Speed's the one that talked me into buying Space Engineers, and I enjoy it. And we've had some pretty funny and fun moments on that game.
Yeah, that's the thing with open space, with open world games. Like that you can do anything, and
yeah,
that's something we wanted to, because like even with we already did for Planet Nomads, we did a community competition for a landing pod, which Vertical Speed has won.
Yeah, I heard that. It kind of looks like a little bit of conflict of interest.
Nah, that was a lot of fun.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we decided for him even before that.
Yeah.
Because like the main news for that will be in the announcement video, which is already like 1 minute in.
Yeah.
Like we have finished for the first minute, and it's looking really great. Like the first version was not that good, but once you add the effects and everything, it just really added. And we will have that in about in a month for sure. We'll be releasing that, so I'll be happy to send it to you before.
Yeah, definitely. For people, okay, one of the things with No Man's Sky, even still today, is that when you ask the average gamer, have you ever heard of No Man's Sky? There's still the average gamer out there will still say, no, I haven't. What is that? And with Planet Nomads, I've been talking to people. I'm like, have you seen this game, Planet Nomads? Even in the No Man's Sky community, people are like, what is that? So
no idea.
It's like these amazing games are just laying in wait for people to discover. For someone who was watching this video and they, explain what Planet Nomads is to the new viewer who's never heard of your game.
So Planet Nomads is an open world sandbox game based on procedurally generated planets, and it's a game of survival and building where you have just a few tools. You have crash landed on an unknown planet, and you need to survive there, secure shelter, food and water, and explore the surroundings out there. So you have great possibility to build things. You can build sand buggies, you can build big transporters and put weapons on that. And then there will be alien creatures, some of them nice, some of them hostile, especially during night. You may be hunted. And
that sounds pretty amazing. Is it a universe or a solar system, or what is it?
Well, so at first, like with the original early access version, with the first one, that will be just one planet.
Okay.
That will be completely procedurally generated, and it'll have several biomes. Like when you move from pole to pole, it will be different. It will be deserts, it will be jungles,
Oh.
And then the worlds will be generated like from the seed, so players will put some information in and choose what to have on the planet, and a new one will be generated. So at first we will be probably generating them like in Minecraft, like you will have a form where you put everything in and the planets get generated, but later on we'll be adding, so you can travel like directly between them. Like you will build a spaceship and get to the orbit and then choose where to go next.
Okay, so it's not the same for everybody then, right?
Yeah, it's not the same. Everybody will have their own unique planets.
All right, so say I'm playing Planet Nomads and I put the information in and I got several planets. Am I able to invite someone to my planets and play with them?
No, that's definitely planned. Like it will never, like Planet Nomads will never be an MMO, but we want to have like a dozen people on one server, so you can play together. Either it will be hosted by the players themselves, and we will have a few servers as well.
Okay.
But that's down the road. We're talking multiplayer, way down the road.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
that's a good thing. Yeah. So the staff at Crane Balls, where did the conception for Planet Nomads come from? Who pitched it essentially to the team?
Yeah. So it was like after we finished Overkill 3 and we were deciding where to head next with the company. So it was the co-founders, Martin, Kubat, and Honza, who like took themselves and were talking about that. And I know for sure that Kubat had an idea for space survival. I think it was an adventure at first. So this is where the concept comes from, because he wanted to. He's a sci-fi freak, really, but the old school ones, like titles I've never heard about. And he really didn't like Interstellar, for instance. So he wanted to do that. And then I guess, all the quote-unquote market research kick in, and like adventures, not really very massive right now. And that idea turned into procedural building sandbox game. And so this was the pitch at first. And at first it actually was supposed to be a diesel punk, then a steampunk, but it kind of didn't work with the space theme. So we ended in a not so distant future. Like we're not planning energy shields and lasers that much. It'll be like close future, near future.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's a good touch. So how many people do you have working on the game?
So there's 10 of us if you count me. We have 5 engineers and 4 graphics. And in the company there's 20 people, so the others are still working on some mobile games, but we'll be going on Kickstarter, and based on the success there, we'll be reallocating the team and we can double it from what the number is now.
Wow, I think there's going to be some real success from Kickstarter.
Yep, we're hoping so.
Oh, I know for sure. I mean, some of these pictures that I've seen are just amazing. I mean, seeing some of the plants and stuff like some of the landscape scenes that you have on your website, just brilliant. Like even the alien life that I've seen just blew my mind away.
Thank you. Yeah.
So the website, the Planet Nomads website, it actually lists 3 specific inspirations. And that is Minecraft, Space Engineers, which you already touched on, and you also mentioned No Man's Sky.
Yep. So basically, we love each one of those have like the first the 3 components of these games: building, survival, and exploration. Like each one of them have really perfected their ones. So Minecraft survival is really great. For Space Engineers, that's building, and for No Man's Skies, it's exploration because it's beautiful. And we just were thinking that if all the 3 components would be put into one game, then it would be great, and that's Planet Nomads, basically.
That's incredible.
It is, really.
Yeah.
It's like taking all of the cool games and just mash them into one.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
And so you guys are located where?
We're located in the Czech Republic, in Ostrava, which is like the third biggest biggest city, and usually frowned upon by Prague and Brno. But we are the the underdogs that are kicking in.
I thought it was an interesting thing, like with Planet Nomads and what we see. You guys are starting on the surface of a planet, and if you kind of compare that to Space Engineers, they start in space and they will be releasing planets pretty soon. It seems like a complete, backwards sort of development for either you guys or Keen Software House. Was that a conscious decision to actually start on the planet? I'm sure it was with the procedural generation of things, but how do you see that going?
So the first, one of the first idea was like, wouldn't it be great to build a massive sand crawler, planet crawler, and just roam the planet? So that was the first idea. And the imagination was kind of like Mad Max and like post-apocalyptic world, yeah, where you are living on the road actually. So that was the first, even with the steampunk, even with the diesel funk. We already had this one idea that you will be living the nomadic lifestyle. So that was that, and especially Space Engineers nailed space flight and spaceships. They have perfected that, so there's no need to add to that pool of games.
Yeah, but their planet update will be coming pretty soon. They just released a whole new batch of screenshots with planets, and they look. I don't know if you've seen them, but they look like they could be some pretty tough competition for you guys.
Yeah, I did see them. I really like them.
Yeah.
I tell you, I got to interject there. I've seen some of those pictures, and I got to tell you, from what I've seen from Planet Nomads, Planet Nomads looks very colorful and vibrant, like No Man's Sky. And I really see myself enjoying the planets in Planet Nomads more so than the ones that are in Space Engineers.
Yeah, I do agree with that, yeah.
Okay, I can listen to that. Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure.
What games have employees worked on? You kind of touched on that, and any special skills brought from them to develop Planet Nomads. So are there any, I guess the question would be something like, are there any, well, I was going to say special coders, but you don't want to really single people out. But you know what I mean? Like people who maybe really know procedural generation, like one or two guys that seem to really be the focus of one particular area of development. Does that make any sense? I'm kind of rambling.
Yeah, it does. I can talk about that. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So basically, like I said, everybody learned game development from scratch at Crane Boss, and well, with the exception of two guys, like one of them was working on Arma project, so he knows a lot about animating and 3D modeling and even the game design per se. So he was bringing in really the knowledge about animations. That's something we didn't have before, and now we have the motion capture. So that will be one, and the second one from 2K Czech. Well, he's a 3D graphic, and he really has this idea about how buildings should look like in Planet Nomads, and he's really also taking the direction sometimes. But what I wanted to get to actually is that, well, special skills is like passion and the focus to explore the possibilities and try them. And we've been, so basically there's one guy who never worked on procedural, or actually we didn't, it's our first PC game, so nobody done that, and now he's focusing on the procedural generation. He's trying this and that, because originally we had an engine from, I think it's called Terran engine, but the performance was really slow, so he looked how that works and started writing his own thing for that. Like we have noise generators for everything, and so there really knows well, I don't want to say no special skills, because there definitely must be, but not experienced before. So, and really, and at Crane Balls, it's a very freedom-oriented company, I should say, or
Yeah.
like there's no strict hierarchy. Like everybody can come forward with their idea, and they usually do. Like sometimes it's too much, it's anarchy, but it's been working out quite well so far.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to save the next question for the very end. Right now, I want to go ahead and get into some of the details about the game. So, the different environments, you mentioned different biomes on one planet. So, tell me, what kind of biomes or, surface environments or things like that people can come across on a planet? So, it says here in some of the examples: sandy, grassy, snowy, things like that. You mentioned jungles. Is there like alien type jungles, like plants that just don't exist but look really cool? Or how are the environments?
Yeah, exactly. So the environment is, we're aiming for alien looking environments, something gamers have never seen before and anyone hasn't seen before, or not on Earth.
Yeah.
So we want to have to look them exotic. So there are crazy trees and plants and bushes. Bushes basically.
So if I traveled, if I was on a desert planet, mostly desert or whatever, would I be able to come across a forest on that planet?
So it'll be, if it was, like, we're still thinking whether to have because if you have a planet like Mars, then it's definitely an interesting biome but it's just one, pretty much, like Mars is just one thing. So
right
now we're thinking definitely the first planet should be something like Earth, so there will be multiple biomes, and as you are traveling, you will come across deserts, you will go through forests and jungle. And the biomes have a set of rules, how they should look like, what is in them, and that is based on the position on the planet and also the height relative to the sea level. So basically, in the mountains, it'll be colder, there will be less vegetation, and yeah, so that's the thing and we want to have so as you go, it'll be gradually changing the biomes. So there will be for the main first planet. So there will be like 6 or 8 biomes.
Okay,
awesome. And even the biomes, of course, are procedurally generated, but the first set of visuals is set in stone, kinda, and it'll be changing. Like one biome will look different in all places. Like it'll be changing even the biome.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So generally, do you have an idea about how big these planets are going to be?
Yeah, we're looking for Earth-like sizes.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and they will be that big. So definitely, well, you could go walking, but it would take you a couple months or
right.
Yeah,
to run through them. It would be a lot of time spent on that as a wanderer. So it's better to build. It's better to build vehicles for that. And
for sure. Yeah.
So with the different biomes, and is there going to be weather? Like, are we going to have rain, snow? Are we going to have like hurricanes or things like that? Like, what kind of weather effects are we going to have in the game?
So the answer is obviously yes, because weather is going to do it. Yeah, weather is one of the main focuses, like with the rains, snowstorms, and even solar storms, because we want to enjoy the planet's the space theme. And basically weather will play an important role in 2 things. It will be like creating the atmosphere of utter desperation, when it's raining, and so it will be raining the atmosphere, but it will also be an element that the players will have to fight off. So if there's a solar, or well, sometimes there will be sandstorms that will block the sun, so your solar panels will not be working, and you will have power outages.
Oh wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Things like that, and I'm not really sure how it's named in English, but meteor shower is probably too big of a word, but like some bigger things than raindrops will be falling from the sky.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay, and you mentioned earlier on there will be multiple planets, and you will be able to travel to those planets later on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the dangers while playing? Well, we kind of went over that with weather. Weather seems to be a big danger. But what about alien life or other dangers? What about the possibility of falling off a cliff or things like that?
Yeah, so it'll be just like, real life on Mars one day. So you can definitely fall. You can have oxygen shortage if there's no atmosphere on that particular planet. There will be places with really high pressures and poisonous atmosphere, for instance. So you can get into a cave filled with poisonous gas, and you need to have oxygen for that. There will be creatures, big and small. Some will be, basically waiting to be hunted as food. Some will be more curious and even hostile, and they can attack you during the night. Most of them will become like that, like crazy, dangerous, and crazy dangerous and bloodthirsty, so to say. And there will be, at first, I think the best course of action would be to run from those. But as you as you grow and upgrade your suit and weapons, you will be able to tackle them and even visit the lairs of the most dangerous ones. And we're thinking about creating a scanner that will tell you how much danger in this area you can expect. And so it was the weather, it was the creatures, thirst and hunger.
As far as alien life forms, are there going to be anything that's intelligent that we're going to have to deal with, some kind of alien NPC? Maybe if you're not even interacting with it, talking to it, but maybe fighting it or something.
With no NPCs for sure at the beginning and even later on. But as far as enemies go, yeah, there will be animals hunting in packs. There will be
but nothing intelligent.
Nothing really intelligent, like intelligence of a predator.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned animals at nighttime, so there's a day and night cycle, correct?
There is.
Okay,
absolutely.
so how is that day and night cycle? Is it like GTA where it's really fast, or is it going to be relative to how the planet is, orbiting that particular sun, or how's it?
Exactly. It will depend on the planet size and how it travels around the sun. There will be planets with more suns, with multiple suns, so probably constant day.
Two suns. So you're talking about some of these planets are going to have a total 24-hour day cycle. Some planets won't even turn night because of the two suns, right?
Exactly.
Wow,
yeah.
That is awesome. And are we going to have that in the opposite? Are we ever going to have a twilight planet where it never gets daylight?
That would be a really hard planet to live on, right?
Oh yeah, because the solar energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that would be an interesting gameplay. You land on one of those planets and you don't think about your energy levels, and then boom, you're stuck there.
Exactly, and having to be on that without any technology first, that would be that would end real fast. But later on, as you develop the technology, yeah, you could visit planets like that.
Awesome. Very awesome.
I don't know. What do you think, Daniel? Is there anything else to say about procedural generation?
For the procedure, yeah, I have a few things. So
okay.
Like, to what extent is that? Are the animals procedurally generated, or just the planets? Tell me, how much of this game is procedurally generated?
Okay. So we're looking at a procedurally generated environment for sure. We're looking, because right now we're experimenting with technology. We wanted to do OpenCL, which is like using GPU for computing the generation of the world, because CPUs are not that fast yet, and that would enable us to have, voxel, because since Minecraft, the worlds are generated by voxels, which is like a mathematically computed part of the piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have them, the smaller you have them, the more detail you can have. But obviously, if you have them smaller, the computers will have a hard time crunching that and bringing the game up. So there needs to be a compromise. And with the OpenCL, we were supposed to get a really small voxels, like it's the size of 10 centimeters, for instance. But the technology is not doing that great, because graphic card producers, they don't support that fully. So we're back to CPU in that thing. And so we want to have, like, if we have a tree, it can be 10 meters high or 100 meters high, and it still should be like, if you harvest it, if you mine wood from that, it should be fully destructible. So right now we're figuring out how to do that, and basically we'll be doing a hybrid thing when the trunk will be voxel based and some of the bigger branches, but of course leaves and stuff will be objects. So for that one, you'll have a tree that every tree will be looking different, and but it will have the same, like, if it's a beech, if it's a spruce or something like that. So that will be the basic etymology for that, and there will be just variation, just like in nature. So that's one thing. The same thing goes for rocks and stones, and big ones and small ones, and different shaped ones. So again, there will be, like, we'll have a dozen models for one rock, and by combining them, it'll bring the variety in the environment. So that one, and for creatures, yeah, we're still experimenting in that department. And at first we wanted to do, like, we didn't even think about procedurally generated animals and creatures, but somehow the community, as was reading the blog post, they said, yeah, there will be procedural creatures, that's awesome. And then we decided, we were thinking, like, okay, well, maybe we could give it a shot. And right now we're working with substances, so you can have one type of creatures, but it can have different skin, different fur. It can have little details changed. So if you see a pack of, like, one kind of animal, every one of them, no two will be the same.
Oh, that is awesome. Very awesome indeed.
And we are, of course, will be discovering that department a little bit more and see how far we can go.
There's a lot of building in the game. You could build, tell me the things that you can build. Some of the things that you could build.
So we've released, we call that Planet Nomads editor, which is like a fully, which is the building part of the game is already out there. Like, you can try that. We have over 100 block types, and people have been building things, and there have been huge trucks and tanks and assault vehicles, little buggies. There have been some flyers as well. Like, that's the thing, like, we never expected to see, like, from the building blocks we already have. Like, Karel, I think was his name, he built a helicopter, which we had no idea you could build that. So
wow.
And now recently we've added thrusters, and in the latest one we will have propeller blades, so you could build flyers as well. And there's one like really huge thing cooking in the team, like in-house. It's this massive planet crawler with, it actually has a 2 helipods on the roof and a little garage inside.
That's so cool.
So can you build bases too?
You could build bases, of course.
Okay.
Like all the things, like what you have a 3D printer for creating blocks. You have storage containers. You have mining heads and drills and all kind of things. And you can either build a stationary one out of these, or you can build them mobile. So everything it's really your decision whether you want to be tied to one place, have a little home, or just be moving on the planet's surface.
Awesome.
Can you dig a hole straight down and come out the other side of the planet?
No, I'm afraid not. But you could go like through a mountain or through the horizon.
Have there been any awesome moments in development when everyone was standing around one screen and just like, wow?
Yeah, that happened with the people actually sending in their creations. So we had a huge spaceship created, and that was one of the moments like, oh, no, I don't want to say oh shit, but it was like, because this is really like, that's the best part of these games, that like user-generated content, as it's called. It's like it will bring the limits of your game like to the levels you had no idea were there.
Right.
So that was one thing, and the other was as the first like, because we had these concept arts of the planets and biomes and everything, and they look great. And then the wow moment was when we saw them in action, in like being actually a planet where you can walk in and look around, and the trees are moving and everything. So this first coming alive part, that was really great.
Yeah, awesome, very awesome. Brent, you got anything else?
Question for the No Man's Sky fans: is there any floating grass?
Oh my god!
It's what?
That's a
Sorry,
joke.
I didn't hear the joke. I wanna hear the joke.
Floating grass.
See,
floating grass, right?
Yeah, there's this floating grass in some of the No Man's Sky footage, and people are just running away with that. There's these ongoing jokes, and they're trying to. There's a lot of the community's trying to find floating grass in every single game out there. So. Man, I can't believe you brought up floating grass.
I really hope it's in Planet Nomads.
When can people expect to play this and buy this?
So we'll be going on Kickstarter probably early next year. Not probably, but yeah, early next year.
Okay.
And there will be today with the versions is like really, but the pre-early access version for backers, and that will be before summer 2016.
Okay.
And then the early access will be in the late summer 2016.
Awesome.
Wow, that's a lot sooner than I thought.
So as of this moment, it's only PC?
It's only PC and Mac at the moment.
Do you have plans for console releases way down the line?
Way down the line, because of the controlling scheme mostly.
Right.
And since we are in touch with with Microsoft concerning Xbox, and the Planet Nomads were already accepted for the platform.
Oh.
So that's a positive sign, but like you said, down the road.
Yeah, tell us about weapons and tools.
So weapons and tools. The tools will be, it's a multi-tool with 3 heads, I should say. One is a cutter for taking, destroying your creations and taking the materials back. One is a blowtorch for building things, and the third one is a mining, drill, I think, harvesting tool, and they will have multiple levels of performance, let's say, and power. So you can upgrade the tools to be faster. You'll be mining faster and all that kind of things. And as far as weapons go, it will be the same thing, that you can have a weapon and upgrade it through different levels, the same one, and then there will be more types. I really don't have anything like specific for that because we are not there yet. So combat is something that we want to have, but it's not a main focus of the game. Like it's really a exploring thing.
Right, definitely. And one more time, the Kickstarter starts what date?
We don't have a date yet, but
okay.
I should think. Well, at the first we were aiming for October.
Daniel, is there anything else you would like to say about Planet Nomads before we end this?
Yeah, you sent me the email. You said the editor being available for download. I think we kind of.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So, I would like to invite anyone who got interested by Planet Nomads to go to our website and download the editor where you can build things already. There are over 100 block types to be used, and you will see how the possibilities are. I don't want to say endless, but they are really huge. Like you can build massive things, and we will be not limited by size or type of blocks.
That's awesome indeed. I've watched a couple people playing around with the editor, but what I haven't seen is once you build something, are you able to drive it around a planet?
Yeah, not yet, but we are
okay.
Not in the editor, but we are putting physics in the game already. We've already started that, and they will be realistic, so you can expect tumbling of your creations, and you can be drifting, and also like we want to have the thing that like your creations will have to have structural good design, so they don't break apart.
Right.
But not in the editor. It's just create it, and then you can move it through that, and move the camera from all angles, and just rejoice on your creation, and be dreaming of one day you'll be driving that.
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot with the editor, and I love it. It's I'm a big fan of building games, as I mentioned, Space Engineers, but Planet Nomads, I mean, it just feels different, and I really do enjoy the editor.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
And we'll be creating more of that. Actually, there's another update coming up with a plant pot, and so there will be a decorative. We're bringing up decorative blocks.
Cool.
Awesome.
There will be new wheels, something like what you saw on the Land Rover, not Land Rover, but Mars Rover, and optimization. So even before, because like you could run out of memory before when you had a really big one, and they just started crashing. But we fixed that, and now you can build really huge things.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm interested to see where you guys go with this. I love the color schemes. I love some of the landscape pictures that I've seen on your website, and I cannot wait to see where you guys go with this.
Yeah, we'll have an announcement video soon, and you will see more of that actually in action for the first time. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, what is soon?
What is soon? Month from, not even month, but less than a month.
Oh, good news. Good news.
Few weeks. Yeah.
All right, good. All right, Daniel, thank you so much for coming on Cobra TV's IndieTV show and representing the game Planet Nomads and Crane Ball Studios. I do appreciate you coming on. It's been a pleasure.
It was. I really enjoyed that, and I hope to come back when we have more for you.
Definitely. And when you get that Kickstarter, make sure you come back when it goes live.
I'll do.
Awesome. It's been awesome. Yeah, seriously, Daniel, it's been really awesome. And I'm super stoked for this game.
Okay, well, that's great.
All right, guys. You guys take care. Thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks, Daniel. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.